ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, welcomes you to the 7th race of the 2000 Indy Racing Northern Light Series, the Midas 500 Classic. Here's the way they'll line up tonight. Defending series champion Greg Ray out-qualified Eliseo Salazar by almost 3 miles an hour. It's Ray's 8th career pole. Row number 2, Donnie Beechler and Jeff Ward. Beechler is a native of Springfield, Illinois. His daughter Shay is just 2 years old, but he's guiding through her young racing career. Perhaps another Indy starter someday. Row number 3, Sarah Fisher and Jared Schrader. In the 4th row, Mark Dismore and Robbie Buell. Row number 5, Buzz Calkins and Ayrton Dare. In the 6th row, Buddy Lazier and Robbie McGee. Starting back in row number 7, Scott Sharp and Eddie Cheever Jr. Scott is following in his father Bob's footsteps. Scott has been racing in one form or another since he was 8, beginning his career in go-karts. Row number 8, Tice Carlson and Scott Goodyear. In the 9th row, Davey Hamilton and Shigeaki Hattori. Row number 10, Billy Bode and Stefan Gregoire. Gregoire enjoys just about any kind of outdoor activity. He's even tried his hand at scuba diving recently off the coast of Catalina with his car owner, Dick Simon. In row number 11, it's Scott Harrington and Stevie Reeves. The 12th row, J.J. Yaley and Al Unser Jr. And back alone in row number 13 is Jimmy Kite.
An indication what we're going to see in here in about 2 seconds, and we're going to have our hands full, and so are all these drivers. Right now, though, it's going to be tough with the sun just setting. As they enter turn 1, there's going to be some glare problems that these guys are going to have to deal with at the start of this race. That
won't be a problem for long, but it may be for the first few laps. Green flag waves, and here we go in the Midas 500 Classic. Salazar and Ray stay side by side all the way through turns 1 and 2. Who's going to get the advantage as they come off the 24 degrees of banking down the backstretch? Looks like everybody is through the okay. However, Scott Sharp has a problem. Scott Sharp has a problem. He brings the car to the apron as we complete the first lap of the race, and Greg Ray is going to lead it. Greg Ray has led in 5 of the 7 IRL races so far.
What? Keep going, right? Go. Yes. Go. All clear,
you
Scott,
can see him trying
to
find different gear selections. He's having trouble with the gearbox, Bob.
We lost gears. We somehow lost gears. I'm not sure which ones I have or which ones I don't. Stay low, Scott. You got the leaders coming up behind you.
They are coming up quickly on Scott Sharp. Greg Ray has jumped out to a considerable lead, but behind him it's still side-by-side racing. There is Greg Ray, whose last lap was 211.590, but look at the scramble behind him. And we have a problem here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway in the Midas 500 Classic. The caution has come on for Ayrton Dare, who is climbing out of the race car. Obviously okay, but it does bring out our first caution of the evening after 13 laps. This is the young rookie who has been quite a sensation in the Indy Racing Northern Lights Series this year, coming off of his best finish in his career. He finished 2nd at Pikes Peak. Here's a replay of what happened.
Well, looks the motor went away. He loses the motor and then spins in his own oil. Very fortunate that it happened at that point. It didn't get into the wall and no traffic bothered him. You can see the right there. Obviously, smoke came out of the back, and then it looked like he got in his own oil.
Through the corner. Boy, the points are so tight coming into this 6th or 7th race, rather, of the year after 6 races. Just a few points separate the top 5. And with as many points available in this race and the other 2 coming up later in Kentucky and Texas, we have a real nice battle for the championship. Well, Greg Ray's lead is shrinking. There he is with the separation between himself and Donnie Beechler, but it isn't nearly as much as it was a couple of laps ago, and certainly not nearly like it was before we went caution.
But I think the thing that you've got to be concerned about, guys, is the fact that it's 3 cars using the draft to close in on 1 car. They are at the halfway mark in terms of fuel window, though, Tom Sneva. So now the car starts to lighten up considerably, does it not?
Well, no question about that, Jack. But the other thing that that pole setter, Greg Ray, did, he ran a real narrow track on the on the wheelbase. He's got a narrow track in there. That gave him more speed, less drag. It really helped him for qualifying, but a lot of these guys felt that in the race, after 10 or 20 laps, it would really hurt the car having that narrow track.
Greg Ray now lengthens his lead to 1 1/3 seconds. We've had 5 leaders so far in this race. Greg Ray has led the most, 62. Dismore has led 14, Beechler 4, Carlson 2, and Eddie Cheever Jr. has been in front for 1 lap. 5 leaders, 8 lead changes.
And Bob, that lead by Greg Ray has now allowed him to go into 6th gear. They're going to cruise along for a while and try and save some fuel.
Boy, he has a good battle in his rear view mirrors as Lazier and Dismore have been fighting wheel to wheel for the last several laps. Eddie Cheever watching there in 4th. And that's Scott Sharp there running in the picture, also on board with him. But again, problems early in the race have really dropped him far back into the field.
Well, but as a driver, you never lose your raciness, and these guys have a lot of fun out here. They run a lot of throttle, and he's having a great time. You know, it's just something inbred in race drivers that they got to push the pedal down towards the floor.
Outside.
Mike Ford guiding Scott Sharp.
Outside. Outside.
Donnie Beechler up ahead in the black car. Just ahead of Jeff Ward is Robbie Buell. He's in 7th. And Jeff Ward, with whom we are riding, is in 8th position.
Well, again, when they run 2x2, they're blowing a big hole in the air, and it lets those guys behind suck up to them. And that's what we see happening. We're getting that pace car formation. But I think the green's been out a while, hasn't it, Bob?
Yeah.
Well, they're having a lot of trouble with, here it is. This is Sharp, out of Sharp's car, his teammate, right behind Dismore. Again, these things, all of a sudden, they run flat out all the way around this racetrack, and you know, these things are breaking a lot of pistons. That looked like a piston that broke in that case. Again, when they run the motors real lean to try to get the horsepower up, and they put the timing in them to get the horsepower up, it causes a lot of heat. And when you run the motor flat out for that many laps in a row, it's a lot of stress on those components.
Laps of this race. 1.5-mile tracks have not been the forte for Buddy Lazier. He did win at Charlotte, and we have a crash.
Sarah Fisher.
And that is the first wall contact that we have had this evening. It comes on the 194th lap of the race. Quickly, the Indy Racing Northern Lights Series officials are right there, and Sarah appears to be okay. She has torn the left front tire off the car, but appears to be in good shape. Green.
We just see Sarah. She's already spun. She gets in left front first. Car just slides along the wall before it comes down the banking towards the infield. A lot of sparks. Ooh, look at that. A lot of debris in the racetrack, and it looked like J.J. Yaley might have ran over some of that stuff. There's good.
He came into this race 18th in the point standing, so it's pretty much a situation where he is not going to be able to defend his Indy Racing Northern Lights Series championship, but to put a win in the books here will certainly give this team some momentum heading into the final 2 races of the year. Final lap is underway. The white is out, and Beechler slides way up high, gets in the gray stuff, and saved the car, however.
There's your win, fella.
Here is Greg Ray coming down.
Excellent job. Thanks, everyone, for your hard work. Good job.
Greg Ray wins, and second place goes to Buddy Lazier, but Al Unser Jr. made a race out of it. Nice job by Lazier, holding off the challenge of Al Unser Jr. It's the 8th victory for Team Menard. They've had 4 with Greg Ray, 3 with Tony Stewart, and 1 with Robbie Buell. All 7 previous wins have been on 1-mile ovals. This is the first win for Team Menard on a 1.5-mile oval. And it, of course, is the first win for a pole sitter this season.